Coal mining jobs have been the lifeblood of the New South Wales Hunter region for generations. It's an industry this third-year apprentice hopes will continue for decades to come.
I hope that coal is extended for my working life because where I want to be in the future heavily would involve coal mining.
His employer, Hunter Valley Operations, or HVO, is scheduled to shut half its mining operations in June next year and stop mining here altogether by 2030.
If the coal mine ended, it wouldn't just be an end of a coal mine, it would be people losing their jobs. My dad would lose his job, all of my best mates would lose their job, their parents work out here too. So it'd be a very big domino effect.
The New South Wales government has an ambitious plan to reduce its emissions by 70% by 2035, with the goal of reaching net zero by 2050. The coal industry has played a vital part in generating jobs and revenue for New South Wales, but now that's changing. By 2040, it's expected all 4 of New South Wales coal-fired power stations and 32 of the state's 39 coal mines will close. But in the meantime, the state's reliance on the multi-billion-dollar revenue and jobs generated by mining has the New South Wales government considering extending the life of 7 coal mines.
Coal mining does generate income for both the federal and state governments, and it's very hard for them with the current tax structures to wean themselves off that. But the consequences of not doing that are so enormous in terms of environmental, social and economic costs.
Hunter Valley Operations' Chinese and Swiss owners are seeking approval from the state and federal governments to extend their operations for another 25 years.
Hunter Valley Operations is proposing to extend mining out to 2050. That allows ongoing support for our 1,500 workers, but not only the workers, it's the local community that we support. That economic benefit over the life of our project is $7.8 billion.
The company wants to dig up another 400 million tonnes of coal for export, primarily to Asia. If approved, it would become the biggest coal mine in the state.
We are counting down the clock for approval at the moment, and look, it's one thing we're probably getting a little bit nervous, so we're hoping the government gets a little wriggle on at the moment because we haven't got long to wait.
But the coal mine operators are facing a number of hurdles.
The New South Wales Environmental Watchdog is critical of the application to extend the life of this mine. It says if that happens, the rest of the economy will have to work harder to reduce emissions.
There will be a need for our coal, particularly with a number of mines in the area closing down. In terms of our emissions, look, our proposal that we've put forward has our emissions reducing in line with the legislative targets from both the federal and the state governments to achieve net zero by 2050.
Economist Nikki Hutley says greenlighting HVO's extension would put both New South Wales emissions targets and Australia's commitment to the Paris Agreement at risk.
If this project goes ahead, we actually know that New South Wales will not meet its current emissions targets for 2035 or 2050 unless they make dramatic cuts in other parts of the economy. We know that that's already quite difficult, and the question is, why would you go ahead with this?
Hunter Valley Operations is also facing a legal challenge from environment groups who want the federal government to consider the emissions impact of the project on the Great Barrier Reef.
They've just asked the federal government to consider greenhouse gas emissions, and look, I'll leave that up to the court to decide. And then if the court does decide that, it's really up to the federal government to make that assessment.
It would be a shame to lose the Great Barrier Reef, wouldn't it?
The river's down here.
Just on the right, yep. And this pumps into a 150mm main.
Coal mining doesn't have the support of everyone in the Hunter. Over the hill from HVO, there is some local opposition.
Because you can smell the dust. The impact is getting closer to us now, and it's one of the finest agriculture valleys in the world. But we seem to be hell-bent on putting a lot of pressure on it.
Farmer Ian Moore successfully fought off a proposed underground mine on his property in 2011. He says HVO already takes too much from the underground water supply and the Hunter River, which runs through the mine's operations and his property.
Come on, girls, in you go. Go on. I'm very concerned about that actually, very concerned, and because Hunter River is the lifeblood of this valley for agriculture, mining, power stations, towns, where all the water is used. We shouldn't be tampering with the Hunter River anyway.
Local traders in the neighbouring town of Singleton, about 20 kilometres from HVO's mines, say coal jobs are needed to keep the local economy humming.
Have you got the yogurts and muesli done?
Yes.
We do a lot of catering for HVO, so we would lose probably 6 to 10 staff, and also our courier that picks up their food to deliver, we would lose them also.
What would Singleton be without mining?
A very quiet town with not a lot of shops, because they support everyone. The florist, the shoe shop, you know, there's all the little shops in town, they support, not directly but indirectly, you know, they help us all.
It has boosted the economy unbelievable actually, and I'm not anti-mining, and a lot of my friends are mining, but I get very upset when they say, well, don't you want lights? So yeah, of course we want lights. If this was about lights, we wouldn't be here today talking. This is all about sending coal down through Singleton to the biggest port in the world, Newcastle, to go overseas.